The actor leaves behind an impressive One Chicago legacy. It's official. Daniel Kyri has filmed his final scene for Chicago Fire. The man who has been bringing Darren Ritter to life since Season 7 revealed the details and wrote a long essay about his tenure on the program on Instagram in August 2025. Kyri's entire post is a must-read for any One Chicago fan, as he thanked everybody from the fans to the cast to the production crew. Here are just a few highlights. Yesterday, I filmed my last scenes as Ritter, and I'm still so amazed that my first ever TV gig, a role that was originally meant for just 3 episodes, turned into 7 incredible years. 7? What? And spanned 8 seasons of this iconic show. Kyri wrote, "While I know I may never find another cast and crew as amazing as this one, I intend to carry what I've learned from you to every set in the future." It's clear how passionate Kyri has been in crafting Ritter into someone millions of fans could look up to. "Chicago Fire changed my life," he wrote. "Bringing Darren Ritter to the screen has transformed and healed me in equal measure. He is a man who embodies empathy, humility, compassion, and unwavering bravery to save lives. His heroism is further fortified by the way he navigates the world. A gay black firefighter who is proud, fierce, loyal, and whole. A possibility I never got to see on screen in my childhood, but desperately craved. I am so humbled and proud to have portrayed you," Kyri continued. "I'm thrilled that my inner child would have looked at you each week in awe of everything you represent. You made history. Thank you so much, Darren Ritter. And goodbye." Kyri, who identifies as queer, was part of history during the Fire Season 8 episode, A Real Shot in the Arm, when Ritter came out to his fellow firefighters in Firehouse 51. It was a pivotal moment for the character, and for Kyri himself. In an October 2019 interview with Chicago-based People's World, Kyri spoke about the gravity of Ritter coming out and the importance of queer representation on the show. Related, you probably forgot Daniel Kyri was on this Chicago Med episode before he was Ritter. Watching the scene felt personal because it felt like I was the one coming out to the world on national television, he explained. The way it was written was so simple and such a non-issue. It brought actual tears to my eyes. The moment was just as powerful for the actor as it was for the character. I can't say I had very many examples of black queer people growing up, Kyri revealed. I spent a lot of my youth lost at sea, reconciling with my sexuality. Related, what's happened to Daniel Kyri's character Darren Ritter on Chicago Fire? When does Chicago Fire come back? Fans can catch Kyri's final appearances in Chicago Fire this fall on NBC, when Season 14 premieres on October 1st at September 8th. See. The official weekly Windy City Wednesdays on NBC schedule is as follows. Daniel Kyri, who for years has been a fan favorite on Chicago Fire thanks to his deeply human portrayal of firefighter Darren Ritter, has officially written an emotional farewell to the NBC drama, and his words have left fans across the One Chicago universe reflecting on the weight of goodbyes, the power of storytelling, and the sense of family that can grow from a fictional firehouse. In his letter to fans, colleagues, and the character he embodied for so long, Kyri described himself as so humbled and proud to have been part of the world that Chicago Fire created, and those 2 words, humbled and proud, are what make his farewell so poignant, because they capture both gratitude and accomplishment, vulnerability and strength, the very balance he brought to Ritter on screen. When Daniel Kyri first appeared on Chicago Fire in Season 7, it wasn't immediately clear how large a role he would play in the ever-shifting ensemble. But from the moment Ritter froze up during a blaze and needed Herman's guidance, audiences saw a young man they could root for, a rookie who had heart, flaws, and courage in equal measure, and Kyri's subtle performance ensured Ritter was more than just a background firefighter. He was a soul in progress. Over time, Ritter's journey expanded beyond the walls of Firehouse 51, and Daniel Kyri broke new ground by helping the show spotlight LGBTQ+ representation in a way that felt natural, lived in, and powerful without ever seeming forced. Ritter's relationships, conversations, and confidence became an inspiration to countless viewers who saw a piece of themselves in him. So, when Kyri took to social media and released his farewell, the words were not just about his career move or an actor leaving a series. They were about community, about art, about the bond between actor and character, and about the fans who followed every call, every rescue, every heartbreak and every laugh alongside him. His letter described the immense honor he felt being part of Chicago Fire's legacy, a show that for over a decade has defined ensemble-driven storytelling on network television. And he acknowledged the castmates who became friends, the crew who became like family, and the fans who showed up week after week with support. What made Kyri's farewell especially emotional was the way he wove humility into every sentence. Rather than focusing on what he gave the show, he focused on what the show gave him, the growth, the lessons, the challenges, and the pride of contributing to something bigger than himself. That humility echoed the very essence of Ritter, a character who never sought the spotlight but always found ways to shine through kindness, bravery, and loyalty. Reading his words, fans were reminded of Ritter's most powerful moments. Standing his ground in the firehouse when faced with prejudice, being a source of strength for crews during some of his darkest days, balancing the demands of duty with the vulnerability of being human, and most importantly, showing that representation matters not just in who gets to be a hero but in how their stories are told. Kyri's farewell hit home because it felt like the end of a chapter, not just for him, but for the fans who have watched Ritter grow from a nervous probie to a dependable firefighter whose absence will leave a noticeable hole in Firehouse 51. Of course, in the world of One Chicago, exits are never entirely permanent. Characters return, cameo, or are remembered in meaningful ways. And yet, the tone of Kyri's words suggests he is truly ready to turn the page, to honor the past while looking toward the future with gratitude. And that gratitude radiated from him in a way that fans could feel. He thanked producers for trusting him with Ritter's arc, writers for creating space for a layered character, cast members like David Eigenberg and Joe Minoso for welcoming him into the fold, and above all, he thanked the audience, the lifeblood of any long-running show, for letting Ritter matter. That kind of acknowledgement goes a long way in a landscape where actors sometimes exit quietly, and it's why Kyri's farewell will be remembered as one of the more heartfelt goodbyes in the One Chicago family. To think about Daniel Kyri's departure is also to think about what Chicago Fire does best. It mirrors real life in showing that families evolve, people come and go, but the impact of those who pass through never disappears. Ritter, as Kyri brought him to life, was proof that you don't need to be the lead character to make a difference, both inside the story and outside of it. His presence amplified the camaraderie at 51. His voice added depth to the conversations happening in firehouse kitchens and fan forums alike, and his humor gave the show levity in times of darkness. As Kyri steps away, one can't help but reflect on the ripple effects of his time there. Fans who felt seen, young actors inspired by his journey, and even his co-stars who often spoke about how much joy and professionalism he brought to set. His farewell letter captured all of that with grace, balancing nostalgia with hope, looking back with respect while hinting that his creative path has much more ahead. And for fans, there's a bittersweet comfort in knowing that even though Ritter won't be fighting fires in upcoming seasons, the legacy Kyri leaves behind will remain part of the DNA of Chicago Fire. Because in the end, television is about more than characters on screen. It's about the people behind them, the messages they carry, and the way they make audiences feel. Daniel Kyri's words, so humbled and proud, might seem simple, but within them lies the whole journey of an artist who entered a beloved universe, gave it pieces of himself, and emerged transformed. He was humbled to stand on the shoulders of the giants who built Chicago Fire before him, humbled by the love of fans, humbled by the platform to tell important stories. And he was proud of Ritter, proud of the representation, proud of surviving the grueling pace of a network procedural, proud of walking away knowing he gave his all. That duality, humility and pride, is what fans will carry with them as they process his farewell, because it resonates with anyone who has ever had to say goodbye to a chapter that meant the world. The emotional weight of Daniel Kyri's letter reminds us that acting isn't just about entertainment. It's about human connection, about creating something that outlives the moment. And for Kyri, his time on Chicago Fire is now immortalized not only in the episodes but in the memories of everyone who watched him grow, cheered for Ritter, and now feels the ache of losing him. As fans brace for season 14 without Ritter, there will no doubt be speculation on how the show will address his absence. But for now, the conversation is not about plot mechanics. It's about gratitude, about pausing to appreciate the journey Kyri took us on, and about letting his farewell echo through the halls of Firehouse 51, where laughter, loyalty, and love always leave their mark. And perhaps that is the truest measure of an actor's impact. Not whether they leave at the top of a storyline or in the middle of one, but whether their presence mattered so deeply that their absence will be felt. Daniel Kyri's farewell made clear that Ritter mattered, he mattered, and the bond between fans and character mattered. And in that bond, even as the firehouse doors close on his chapter, his spirit remains part of the heartbeat of Chicago Fire, reminding us that goodbyes may sting, but pride and gratitude make them beautiful. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my sister wives to our channel and stay with TS.